So this is topic 1516. It's about inequalities, which are pretty awesome. You're going to need your notes and your pencil. And our objective, our goal is to understand that inequalities, these special math problems, have an infinite amount of possible answers, meaning there's a billion, trillion, bazillion answers, which is impossible to write down, so we have to graph them, okay? So that's what we're trying to figure out today. So you're right, topic 15.6, understanding inequalities. We're going to use Roman numeral 6, reading and graphing inequalities. The word inequality is unequal, meaning you're not going to be using an equal sign, you're going to be using that less than and greater than symbol is what they're used for. So they're pretty cool. So first we need to understand these new terms that we're going to be using. So I want you to write down this symbol, the less than symbol, and how you can tell the difference between the less than and the greater than symbol. People get this confused. Is that the less than symbol looks sort of like an L, less than. I think we did this before. And then if it has the less than symbol with a line underneath it, that means less than or equal to. It could be less than this number or equal to that number. And then we have our greater than symbol, or the greater than or equal to symbol. Let me fix that right there. There we go. Or equal to. When we graph it, we have to use special dots that mean these things. If we graph it with an open dot, that means we're using either less than or greater than. And if we graph with a closed dot, that means we're less than and equal to, or greater than or equal to. So when we graph them, watch the dots. Okay. So first we're going to learn how to read the inequalities. We're going to look at our graph right here. We have a number line. It's the x-axis right here. And it will always show you the 0. And then this one's at the 2 and has an x underneath it. Okay? And notice it has an open 0, or open dot, it's going to the left. So in our math problem it says x is something, a number. Well, our number is 2. And then we have to figure out if x is less than 2 or greater than 2. Well, which way is it going? Is it going to the smaller numbers or the bigger numbers? It's going to the smaller numbers, so we're going to write less than. And now we need to look, is our dot open or closed? It's open, so we're just going to leave it as less than. We're not going to put the line underneath it. Now let's look at this one right here. Here's my graph, my number line graph. We have our 0. We have a -4 with a W underneath it. And so it wants to know what W is. And W is at a -4. But what is it to the -4? Is it smaller than the -4 or is it bigger than the -4? Because it's pointing towards the larger numbers, we're going to say it's greater than -4. But now look at your dot. Is your dot filled in? It is. And so if it's filled in, it's going to be greater than or equal to. And that means that W could be exactly -4 or bigger than -4. It could be a -3, a -2, a 1, a 5, a million, a trillion, a 1.25368. There's so many answers we can't even talk about them all. But they're going to be bigger than or equal to a -4. So the last one right here, we're going to look at again. We have again a 0. And then we have our number. It has our letter underneath it, V. And what about V? Well, V is 3. But is it exactly 3 or bigger than 3? Well, let's look. The dot is filled in, but it's going to the right, which means greater than. And it's filled in, so we're going to put equal to. Okay, so V is bigger than a 3. So it could be 3.1, it could be 3.11, it could be 3.111111, it could be 4. There's so many answers, I can't say them all. So that's reading inequalities. Whoops, we just lost a little light. Now we're going to graph inequalities. So this says x is greater than 3. So my first step is to draw the number line. We always put the 0. And you're welcome to fill in all the numbers, but I don't. I always just fill in the number that I need to go to, but you have to make sure you put the 0 in. And then it says it's going to be greater than. So that's an open circle. And which way are the bigger numbers? Are they to the right or to the left? Well, they're to the right, so we're going to go this way. They're greater than 3. So now let's try graphing Z. Z is less than or equal to a 1. So again, I draw my number line, my x-axis. I put a 0, and I put a 1. And it says it's less than or equal to, so should my bubble be opened or closed? It's going to be closed. And it says less than, so we're going to go through the smaller numbers. We're going to go this way. Let's look at this one. M is less than a -2. We draw our number line, our 0, and our -2 is over here. It says it's less than, is that bubble opened or closed?
it's open, and it says less than, so we're going to go to the smaller numbers. And the last one we're going to look at is V is greater than or equal to 0. So again, I draw my x-axis, my number line. I just have to put a 0. It says it's greater than or equal to, so my bubble is going to be closed because it's equal to. And we're going to go to the bigger side. Okay, that's it.